Hey, welcome back guys to my channel. Thank you so much for tuning in. For those that don't know me, my name is Maria T, and this is a channel where I share a few things that I'm learning on my journey of faith so that you can be encouraged. First of all guys, before we get into today's video, can I just say a massive thank you to you guys for all of your love, your support, your comments. Honestly, I appreciate every single one of them and I'm so grateful for you guys. So thank you.
He gets the victory. He gets the victory. He gets the victory. He gets the victory.
So guys, let's go right into today's video. In today's video, I really wanted to speak about new beginnings because I know that time and time again, we face new beginnings in our journey of life, and this channel just being a new beginning for me, I thought that I would just share some of the things that I've been learning so far and hopefully it will bless and encourage someone. So guys, how many of us do this? We literally enter into new beginnings and we're just trying to make everything so perfect. We enter into new beginnings and we try and make ourselves look so perfect. And honestly, this past week, guys, it has been a week. And I know some of you guys may be thinking, come on, it's just been a week and you're already stressing out. Stop it. But I've just come, honestly, just to share some of the things that I've learned, because I think when it comes to new beginnings, there's so many things that we face, so many things that we deal with. And I know that I can't be the only one. I cannot be the only one, guys. I've had to just remind myself that it's not about perfection. I was trying so hard to make a perfect video. I was trying so hard for everything to just come out perfectly. And I just feel like God had to just stop me and just say, I'm not asking for perfection. Stop trying to be perfect. And I really feel like someone just needs to hear that today. You may be in a new beginning and you're just trying to make everything so perfect, everything to look like you've got it all together. God is not asking for our perfection. He knows that we're not perfect. Like, none of us are perfect. And it's really progression over perfection. Because what I found is that as we're trying to be perfect, we really do stop ourselves from progressing and moving forward. I was trying to get the perfect video that it just stopped me from even getting a video out there, guys. And it's so ridiculous when you think about it, but it's something that so many of us do. And I'm just reminding myself that it's important for us to not despise the days of small beginnings. Because it's very easy to come into a new journey, and on the first day, we're already thinking about year 10 of that journey. We're already thinking that, God, I'm ready for year 10. I'm ready for it. Forgetting that in between year 1 and 9, there is so much growth, so much learning, so much developing that needs to happen. And we forget that the journey of 1,000 miles starts with that first step. And sometimes it's just about us taking that first step. Or if you've taken that step, to just keep going. And even sometimes on the journey, we find ourselves coming across hurdles. We find ourselves coming across challenges. And it's so easy for us to face these things and just want to stop. Or it's even so easy for us to face these hurdles and challenges and just be like, yeah, God is not in this. God is definitely not in this, because if he was in this, I would not be dealing with this. But sometimes on the journey, we have to face those hurdles and challenges. And I'm reminded of the story of Joseph. Oh, in this biblical account, honestly, Joseph dealt with so much. He was faced with so many hurdles, so many challenges. But one thing that we're not told is that Joseph gave up. I mean, the guy, his brothers sold him into slavery. His master's wife was trying to sleep with him, but we're not told that he gives up. And that's one word that we just need to hold on to today. We just need to remind ourselves of today that when we face those hurdles, when we face those challenges, let's not give up. Because if we give up at the first hurdle, how will we then see the rest of how the journey could turn out to be? And I just feel like someone might need to hear this right now. Proverbs chapter 3 verse 5 to 6. Trust in the Lord with all your heart and lean not on your own understanding. Acknowledge him in all your ways and he will direct your path. Sometimes we need to remind ourselves of that scripture because especially in new beginnings, I feel like it's so easy for us to just lean on our own understanding. I know what I'm doing. I know what I'm doing. Let me just do what I'm doing. But I found myself leaning on my own understanding, guys. I was leaning on my own understanding and I just had to remind myself of that scripture to just trust God. Because when we don't, we just find ourselves being confused. We find ourselves being frustrated. Another thing that I've been learning in this season, guys, or that I'm being reminded of is the importance of going to God so that we can discern the season that we are in. How many of us do it? We're in a season and then we don't even know what we're doing. We don't know what we're meant to be doing. And then social media will tell you that in this season you need to be doing this, and this. Honestly, in the first lockdown, I remember people were saying that in this season, in this lockdown, you need to be doing this. You need to make sure you come up with a new skill. But what if in that season, God was saying to you that, I just need you to rest. Because when you come out of lockdown, I need you to do this and this. And sometimes we get caught up in all of that. We get caught up in social media, keeping up with social media, that sometimes we just force ourselves into seasons that we have no business being in. And I'm just reminded of the fact that there is a time for sowing and there is a time for reaping. And in between that, there's something called time. Sometimes we need that reminder that we might sow today, but we're not going to necessarily reap from the seed that we have sown that same day. There are some people that want that. Some people, they even want to reap the previous day from the seed that they have not yet sown. Ecclesiastes chapter 3, guys. There is a time for everything. There's a time to sow and there is a time to reap. Let's not compare our seasons with other people. Let's not compare our journey with other people's. It's so easy when you start new beginnings to just want to compare yourself or compare what you're doing to what someone else has done or that they are doing. I found myself looking at all these amazing YouTubers and I had to just catch myself real quick so that I don't find myself trying to turn up as that person or doing things the way they do things because it worked for them. I feel like so many of us do this. We see something work for someone and we think, let me do that the same way they've done it so that I can get the same outcome. But we know that that's not necessarily the case. Just because you've done things the same way does not mean that you will get the same exact outcome that they did. And we compare, literally comparing our chapter 1 with somebody else's chapter 10, forgetting that they themselves had to start at chapter 1. It's so easy to look at someone's maybe season of harvest or their season of reaping, not know where they started from. And it's just so easy to look in someone else's lane and then get distracted from looking in our own lane. We miss out on the beautiful things in our own lane because we're still so busy just peeping into somebody else's lane, guys. Let's stop comparing. Like the saying goes, comparison is the thief of joy, and it really is. When we start comparing, after a while, we might even end up starting to turn up like that person or to look like that person because we want our journey to be like theirs. But one quote that I'm holding on to, guys, in this season is that authenticity is beautiful. Wait, let me just say that again, guys. Authenticity is beautiful. Tweet that. And I'm just having to remind myself of that word, that it's so much better to turn up as ourselves and not feel like we need to be a fabricated version of someone else or that we need to fabricate anything that we're doing to look the way someone else's does. We're literally on our own journey, and especially in the season of new beginnings, we need to remind ourselves of that. So the next thing that I've been learning about or that I'm being reminded about is the importance of patience. Patience, 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 guys. It's so funny how we're so quick to want to rush the process or rush ahead of God. rather than trust the process or the person who has even put us there in the first place. Patience is a virtue, like they say. And it's so easy for us to not be patient with God when we're waiting, when those seasons of waiting. And then we're impatient with God. But when we're doing our own thing, when we're going about our own business, God is so, so patient with us. And you might be in a season of waiting right now and you're just thinking, okay, but why does it just feel like everyone else around me is being blessed and I'm not being blessed? Everything is moving for everyone else around me. It doesn't seem to be moving for me. When is my new beginning gonna come? It's better to wait in that season than to rush or force yourself into a season that you have no business being in. A season that you might not have any business being in. And it just goes back to the point that I said, that ability to discern the season that we are in is so key. Because then you might just find yourself trying to sow when you're in a season of reaping, or trying to reap when you should be sowing. Imagine if God is telling you that this is the season for you to sow seeds, and you're just like, no, I want to be reaping from my past seeds that I have sown. But then when the time comes for you to then reap from those seeds, where is the fruit from those seeds? Nowhere to be found. We really need to just let God cultivate that patience in us and let patience have its perfect work. Because then we might just push ourselves into seasons and then find ourselves in recovery seasons, or find ourselves in seasons of healing that maybe we didn't actually have to go through that. God knows everything that you need and when you need it. I'm reminding myself of that as I even say this. God knows what you need and when you need it. And that should give you some sort of peace to just know that this season that you are in right now, perhaps you're just where you need to be. If you're in a season of waiting, you might be waiting for that new job. You might be waiting for a change of your circumstances. You might be waiting for marriage, a child. Maybe you're waiting to see that growth in your Christian walk. And you're just like, God, when is it going to be me? When is it going to be me? Honestly, it's better to be patient than to rush ahead of God. So those were the things that I wanted to speak about in today's video, guys. I hope that you have been blessed by it, and I hope that someone has been encouraged. Make sure that you put some comments in the comment section below on some of the things that you've learned in your seasons of new beginnings, so that hopefully someone else can be blessed. And you guys know what to do. Don't forget to like, don't forget to share, and don't forget to subscribe, guys. I cannot wait to see you in my next video. Have a blessed one, guys. God bless you.
He gets the victory. He gets the... Stop.